Hi everyone, welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For today's practice, you may want to have 2 yoga blocks and a strap, maybe even a blanket to sit on as we begin in a comfortable seat. My name is Michelle, and today we're going to be focusing quite a bit on opening the outer hips as well as the area of the glutes. And to open it, we also need to warm it up. So let's begin turning out the thighs. If you'd like, you can elevate your pelvis on a pillow or a folded blanket or block. So I finally finished this book, which I went in and out of reading, and it's called The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Difficult Times by mindfulness teacher Pema Chodron. And I want to share a part towards the very end where she talks about the paradox of life, the paradoxes of life. Basically going beyond having to label things, experiences, as either good or bad. And I love it because it reminds me of a Rumi quote. It's something like, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. So here's what Pema Chodron has to say in her book. We are told about the pain of chasing after pleasure and the futility of running from pain. We hear also about the joy of awakening, of realizing our interconnectedness, of trusting the openness of our hearts and minds. But we aren't told all that much about this state of being in between, no longer able to get our old comfort from the outside, but not yet dwelling in a continual sense of equanimity and warmth. Anxiety, heartbreak, and tenderness mark the in-between state. It's the kind of place we usually want to avoid. The challenge is to stay in the middle rather than buy into struggle and complaint. The challenge is to let it soften us rather than make us more rigid and afraid. Becoming intimate with a queasy feeling of being in the middle of nowhere only makes our hearts more tender. When we are brave enough to stay in the middle, compassion arises spontaneously. By not knowing, not hoping to know, and not acting like we know what's happening, we begin to access our inner strength. How many times do we want to put things in a box just because it gives us comfort? Let me continue. She says, for the warrior, right is as extreme a view as wrong. They both block our innate wisdom. When we stand at the crossroads, not knowing which way to go, it's an important place in the training of a warrior. It's where our solid views begin to dissolve. As we continue to train, we evolve beyond the little me who continually seeks zones of comfort. We gradually discover that we are big enough to hold something that is neither lie nor truth, neither pure nor impure, neither bad nor good. But first, we have to appreciate the richness of the groundless state and hang in there. It's important to hear about this in-between state. Otherwise, we think the warrior's journey is one way or the other. Either we're all caught up or we're free. The fact is that we spend a long time in the middle. This juicy spot is a fruitful place to be. Resting here completely, steadfastly experiencing the clarity of the present moment is called enlightenment. Let's take a moment to digest that. Start to sense what you're feeling in your physical body right now. Noticing your physical state as you begin your yoga practice. Tune into how your body is breathing without having to change it. Noticing your energetic state. Bring your awareness to your mind, its activity, content of the thoughts, the energy of the thoughts. And notice how you feel mentally and emotionally. And I invite you to take a moment to offer gratitude, something that you appreciate. Bring that to heart. And from this place, start to clarify your intention for this practice. What are you inviting into your experience? Making an offering of your practice, I invite you to also choose someone, a community, or a cause to dedicate today's practice to. And joining our voices, let's create resonance together as we hold space for ourselves and in community by chanting 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. So I invite you to continue breathing with your lips closed. We're going to begin a specific pranayama to help really feel the fullness of the in-breath and the out-breath, as well as calming the nervous system. And it's called 3-part breathing. And in Sanskrit, it's called Durga Pranayama. So if you're already sitting cross-legged, I invite you to switch the leg that is in front or on top so that we can balance out our hip stretch as we're sitting here. And Durga Pranayama involves picturing that your torso from your pelvic floor to the bottom of your skull is like a jar, and you could divide that jar into 3 cross sections. The lowest cross section is the very bottom of your pelvis through your lower, through your navel, through your belly button. So everything below that is the first. And then the second cross section is much of your rib cage until about your upper chest. And the third cross section is all the way up to the top of your neck, all the way around. So let's focus for a moment. You might even place your hands at your lower belly, lower back, breathing slowly just into that region. Hold the breath. Notice how this feels as you're sitting tall and relaxed. And exhale through your nose. Hold the breath out. Then place your hands on your left and right ribs and inhale into the second section of your torso. Holding your breath, observe how this feels. Then empty your breath. Hold it out. Place your hands on your chest. Inhale into your upper chest, neck and shoulders, upper back. Keep your shoulders relaxed as you sit tall. Hold the breath in. Notice how this feels. Then slowly empty your breath. Hold it out. So relax into natural breathing. The 3-part breathing goes like this. You might have a hand at your chest, a hand at your lower belly. And first we'll inhale into the lowest cross section and we'll pause. Then we'll inhale again into the mid cross section and then pause. And then we'll inhale to the uppermost cross section and we'll hold the breath for a few seconds. Then we'll exhale everything slowly out through the nose and hold the breath out. That's 1 cycle. Let's try 2 cycles together and 2 cycles on your own. Ready to join us, Rosie? Okay, so maybe close the eyes if that helps you to visualize. Maybe place a hand at your chest and a hand at your lower belly. Empty this breath to prepare. Hold it out into the lowest cross section. Inhale 1/3. Pause into the mid cross section. Inhale 1/3. Pause Into the uppermost, inhale 1/3. Holding your breath, relax and observe your body. Slowly empty the breath. Hold your breath. Observe here. Second round together. Inhale the first third. Pause. Inhale second third. Pause. Inhale the last third. Hold it in. Slowly empty the breath. Hold it out. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. Finishing at your own pace. When you do, breathing naturally, take a moment to notice how you feel after that. And now I invite you into another breathing technique, which will take us into our asanas, our postures, and our movements. And that is Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. So as you inhale, invite the breath into all 3 cross sections without holding the breath. When you get to the very top, take your time to exhale a very soft whispering sound through the nose that is just as long as the inhalation. So visualizing the breath entering and expanding into all these 3 parts and releasing from all these 3 parts. Fine tune a sound to your breath by gently narrowing the back of your throat. And that sound is like soft ocean waves rising and falling, a gentle whispering sound. That sound will serve as an anchor for your mind, giving it something audible that bridges you back to your body and the present moment when the mind wanders. And it's a way to track that you are exerting your energy in your body in a balanced way, because the breath is balanced too. If you notice the breath becomes disturbed, choppy, irregular, that's a good sign to do something different in your body, whether it's to slow down, take a moment to rest in child's pose or a different posture that's restful for you, and then move on when you're ready. So regulating your practice as you regulate your breath. Let's begin in tabletop pose, hands and knees. So come on down to hands and knees, where you spread your fingers flat on the ground and you stack your shoulders right on top of your wrists, stack your hips right on top of your knees. And we're actually going to start to warm up the hips. So this is sort of a variation of cat-cow. As you breathe in, raise your right leg behind you and keep the right hip facing down as you coil your chest up. So there's flexion in the front of your spine. As you exhale, press the ground with your hands and contract your abdomen, bending your right knee towards your nose. Round your back as you drop your head. Let's try 4 more rounds. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you, coil your chest up. Exhale, contract your belly and round, knee to nose. Continue at your pace of breath. Inhale, extend through your front body. Exhale, flex through the front body. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. This time, tuck your left toes. And as you inhale, extend and raise the hips, coming into 3-legged downward dog. Bend your right knee here. And now externally rotate your right thigh at the hip, which means turn it out. And take a moment here, whether you explore circling your right leg at the hip, warming it up, or you shake out the leg. Maybe you circle the right foot at the ankle, but as you're doing that, keep the breath rhythm going. Same slow in and out breaths. Excuse me. And relax your neck evenly, stretch through both arms. Draw the left hip back. On your next inhale, raise your right leg behind you and again square your hips so both frontal hip bones are facing the floor. As you exhale, step your right foot to the right side of your right hand. So you're coming into a wide version of a kneeling lunge. Place the back knee down. So if you find that your shoulders are hunching up towards your ears, plant your hands on blocks and adjust the height of the blocks so that your shoulders can relax down. Now, keep your right foot flat on the ground, scissor your right outer hip slightly back, and draw your sternum, which is the middle of your chest, forward, lengthening your spine. Take a deep breath in. Now, as you exhale, lift the back knee and begin to draw the right hip further back to whatever degree you can comfortably straighten the right leg. Bow from your hips as though you have a flat back. This is a wide pyramid pose. Let's try 4 more cycles of that. Inhale, rebend the front knee, lower the back knee into lizard lunge. Exhale, lift the back knee, straighten your legs to your degree into pyramid pose. Again, inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. Last round, inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. Lower your back knee, and we're going to stay here in lizard lunge just a little bit longer this time. To stabilize the alignment of your right kneecap, flex your right foot. Curl the toes up towards the right knee. As you splay the right thigh open, making sure to only lean the outer edge of your right foot on the floor, not rolling over onto the ankle like I'm doing now. So not sickling the foot, but keeping it flexed. Continue to draw your right outer hip towards the back of your mat as you lengthen your torso towards the front of your mat. Now, if it's available, if your right outer hip is warm enough, you might come down lower onto your elbows, whether on blocks or on the ground. Let's listen to your breath rhythm here for 5 more cycles. When you finish the 5th exhalation, plant your hands flat on the ground, stepping into hands and knees again, all 4s. Set up your shoulders to stack over your wrists, set up your hips to stack over your knees. And let's take the sequence through side 2. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you, but keep your hips facing the ground. Lift your chest and look up. Exhale, press down with your hands and lift your navel. Doming your back, bend the left knee towards your nose. 4 more rounds. Inhale, extend through your front body. Exhale, contract or flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. And exhale, flex. This time, tuck the right toes and rise up to 3-legged downward facing dog. From here, externally rotate your left thigh at the hip, turn out the leg, and bend your left knee. So you might explore circling the left leg in both directions at the hip, shaking out the left leg, or circling out the foot. Keep relaxing your neck here and try to keep your hands evenly pressing the floor away. So the right hip continues to draw back towards your rear wall, not compressing the right side of your lower back. A few more breaths. Now inhale, raise your left leg again, square your hips to face the ground. Exhale, step the left foot softly to the left side of your left hand and lower your back knee into lizard lunge. Place your hands on blocks if that's helpful to relax the shoulders and give you a little more openness in your neck and shoulders. Now let's start the new flow. Keep your left foot on the floor, facing forward. As you breathe in with the back knee on the ground, lengthen your torso forward. As you breathe out, lift your back knee and scissor your left outer hip back to whatever degree you can comfortably straighten your legs and bow as if you have a flat back. This is a wide version of pyramid pose. Inhale, lower the back knee, re-enter lizard lunge. Exhale, lift your back knee, straighten and bow to pyramid pose. 3 more rounds. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid, nice and slow, connecting your movement to the slow pace of your breathing. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lizard. And exhale, pyramid. Now return to lizard and let's stay there in a more externally rotated version of the left leg. So flexing your left foot by curling the toes up towards the kneecap while you splay open your left thigh and lean the outer edge of the foot on the ground, making sure not to roll over onto the outer ankle. Whether you stay up on your hands or come down onto your forearms, continue to scissor your left outer hip back as you draw your chest forward. Let's tune into 5 more deep breaths here. Listen to the quality of your breathing. This time, as you finish your 5th exhalation, please make your way into downward facing dog, giving yourself a few breaths in downward dog to move your body any way it may need to move right now. You might be pedaling your feet slowly in place. You might be swiveling your hips left and right. Tune in again to that ocean wave sound in your breath as we begin our sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. So empty this breath, then walk or lightly float to the top of your mat, entering Uttanasana, a forward fold. Press down with your hands on blocks, your shins or the ground. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, bow again, Uttanasana. Root down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, rising to stand, saluting the sun above. And it's also the new moon tonight. Great time to set intentions. Exhale, join your hands at your heart center and take a moment to remember your intention. What are you creating through this practice? Let's flow through a series of Surya Namaskars starting in chair pose. So bring the inner edges of your feet together to touch. Empty this breath slowly. And as you inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Maybe graze the floor with your fingertips, sitting that low as you raise the arms in Utkatasana. Exhaling, lean your weight forward and bow from your hips, Uttanasana. Press down with your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step into your version of plank pose, and as you exhale, glide forward, bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower all the way for this first one. Ground the tops of your feet, hug your elbows to your ribs, and inhale to Cobra, peeling the fronts of your shoulders back and down. Exhale, press the ground away, and you lift your pelvis back to downward facing dog. Keeping your hips facing the floor, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, softly step the foot beside your right thumb and spin your back heel down. As you face forward, inhale, rise up into Warrior One. Then exhaling, lower from plank pose to Chaturanga Dandasana. And this time, inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Second side, keep your hips squared. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, softly land the foot beside your left thumb and lower your right heel. Facing forward, inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. As you exhale, lower from plank through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Let's pause here, cultivating stillness and focus. Steady your eyes on one spot, steadying your drishti, your gaze. Rebalance the sound rhythm of in-breaths with out-breaths. Listen for the end of your third exhalation. And when it's done, either walk or lightly float your feet to the top of your mat in a forward fold. Your feet touching. Then inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. With knees touching, inhale, sit back into chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise up, Padasana. Let's continue 2 more cycles as we energize the body and steady the mind. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank and lower or lightly jump to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue through your vinyasa in Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale your foot beside your right thumb, back heel down. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower, finishing your vinyasa. When you arrive at Downward Dog again, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb. Back heel down, inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Steady your focus as you still your body in Downward Dog for 3 deep breaths. Then walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, Padasana. Last one, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float back, take it to your vinyasa. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, Downward Dog, inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale the foot forward. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, float into your vinyasa. From Adho Mukha, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot forward. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale into your vinyasa. Pause in Downward Dog for 3 breaths. Then walk or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Padasana. So let's have 2 blocks in front of your feet here on their tallest height and as wide apart as your shoulders distance. Step behind the blocks about a foot away with your feet together and join your hands at your heart, steadying your gaze as we play with a balancing hip opener and chair. So turn out your right thigh at the hip and flex your right foot as you cross your right ankle over your left thigh like a figure 4 shape and bend the left knee right above the left heel, drawing your hips back and slowly down. As you keep your breath steady, use it to create a feeling tone of balance by slowing down the inhales as long as the exhales. Engage your abdomen, and as far back as your hips will go, you might raise your arms overhead. You might place your hands on the blocks if they're reachable. Keep flexing your right foot. Keep curling the toes towards the right shin to stabilize your right knee. And let's stay here for another 3 deep breaths. Press down to your standing foot and join your hands at your heart. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to step the right foot down. Let's switch sides. Rotate your left thigh externally and cross your left ankle over your right thigh as you flex your left foot. Bending your right knee, draw your sitting bones back and down so that your right knee stacks on top of your right heel rather than hovering in front of the heel. Engage your abdomen, keep splaying your left thigh open, and decide where your arms will go. Maybe overhead, maybe keep the hands in prayer, maybe place them on blocks. Keep flexing your left foot, and let's listen to another 4 deep breaths. Press to your standing foot. Place your hands in prayer at your heart. Inhale to rise and step your left foot down. All right, so we're actually going to practice a standing balancing pose lying on our backs before we stand up and practice it balancing. So grab a strap and come to lie down on your back. Don't be fooled, we're not cooling down yet. We're just practicing. So as you lie on your back, bend your right knee into your chest. Step the ball of your right foot either into the loop, if there is one on the strap, or just the middle of the strap. Hold the strap in your right hand and kick your right foot into the strap. As you flex the foot, pull the strap towards you with enough slack in the strap where the backs of your shoulders are evenly still on the ground. Now place your left hand on the very top of your left thigh and press the thigh bone down so that you can feel the back of your left hip evenly weighted with the right hip on the ground. Flex both of your feet. Press the instep of your left foot forward. Engage the muscles in your legs. How's the breath? So this is a variation of hand to big toe pose. Now, if you could reach your big toe with your peace fingers, you can hold that instead of the strap. But if it makes your shoulder come off the ground, better to use the strap. Because if you were doing this posture standing upright and your left foot's on the floor, you want to know that your shoulder girdle is stacked above your hip, your pelvic girdle. If one shoulder comes forward and your hips are back here, that can easily throw you off balance. You want to keep your spine vertical when you do the standing. So adjusting the length of the strap and making sure there's a tautness to it. You're kicking with a foot and you're pulling with a hand. So that tension helps to create balance. Now keep kicking into the strap and externally rotate your right thigh bone at the hip, moving the entire leg while it stays in the same location. Now begin to open the right leg slowly to your right side, only the degree that the back of your left hip can stay rooted on the ground. Once that left hip starts to lift away from the ground, if you were doing this standing up, that easily throws us off balance because it takes us away from our center line. So use the ground right now as a reference point to noticing how it feels from the inside out, to keep your shoulder girdle stacked above a balanced pelvic girdle. Now, as this right leg is coming up, you might find that your right hip crease is lifting up towards your right armpit. Avoid that by tacking this right outer hip towards your inner left foot, even if it means bringing the right leg more towards your midline and not so far out to the right, and or bending the right knee. All right, let's take another 3 breaths. In Supta, which means supine, Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana, hand to big toe pose. On your next inhale, bring the right leg towards center, remove the strap, and slide the right leg down. Second side, bend your left knee into your chest, step the ball of your left foot into the strap, and hold the strap in your left hand. And notice you want to have the left arm on the inside of your left leg. If it's on the outside, just bring it on the inside. That will help us balance, help us connect to the midline of your body. All right, take a moment to flex both of your feet. Press the instep of your right foot forward. Contract all the muscles in both legs. Place your right palm on the very top of your right thigh. Make sure the back of your right hip stays on the ground. The back of your 2 shoulders stay on the ground. Now, as you steady your breathing, begin to externally rotate your left thigh at the hip. So it doesn't move location, but it rotates in place. Now begin to move location. Open the leg slowly, kicking into the strap of the flexed foot as you pull the strap at the same time. Keeping that tension in the strap is helpful for balance. Notice the back of the right hip, making sure you only go as far out to the left with the left leg that you can sense the back hip stays on the ground. Remember, you have options of bending the left knee, bringing the left leg more towards midline. Couple more breaths here. Slowly bring the left leg to center and remove the strap. Bend your knees into your chest, take hold of the strap, and start to rock and roll forward and back several times. Eventually arriving at the top of your mat in mountain pose. Now let's try the same thing standing up. Imagine behind your back as you're standing here with 2 feet together is the floor you were lying on. Step the ball of your right foot into the strap and flex the right foot. As soon as you're holding the strap with your right hand, you're kicking into it, find that taut grip. Place your left hand on your left hip. Engage your abdomen. Start by bending your right knee in front of you. Kick into the strap and slide your right hand down towards your right foot, as close to your right foot as you can, while keeping your shoulder girdle balanced above your pelvic girdle. Keep your center line centered. So kick your right foot forward. If you're going to straighten the leg any degree, doesn't have to be completely straight. Plug the right shoulder back so it's touching the imaginary floor behind you. Then externally rotate your right leg at the hip. Slowly open the leg, which means abduct the leg. Move it away from the midline. Now, if you start to tilt the torso out of the midline, then bring the leg towards the midline and adjust, or bend the knee if needed. More important that you keep your shoulder girdle stacked above your balanced pelvic girdle. Reaching the left arm open. How's your breathing? A few more breaths. Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana, hand to big toe pose. Slowly bring the right leg forward and remove the strap. Standing in mountain pose, pause a moment, maybe close the eyes and just be still. Notice what you observe. Remember that yoga is not just about the pose. In fact, I like to view the poses as the context in which you're practicing yoga. Yoga is much about the mind. What's surfacing in your thoughts right now, in your consciousness? What patterns are revealed through these postures? Let's step the ball of your left foot into the strap, holding the strap in your left hand. And just stand in mountain pose for a moment. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Stack your shoulder girdle above your pelvic girdle. Feel the vertical line down your center. Keep that vertical line. And now, as you bend the left knee in front of you, slide the left hand as close to the foot as you can with the arm inside of the leg. Kick into the strap and drop your left hip if it's rising higher than the right hip. Steady your gaze and breath and begin to kick away the left foot, only to the degree that your shoulders can stay above your hips. Rotate your left thigh externally and begin to abduct the leg. Abduct the right arm, or the opposite arm of the leg. And then use your standing foot, root down and lift the energy up, the center line of your body. How is your breathing? You got it. A few more breaths. Remember, the yoga doesn't end with a pose. If you fall out of the pose, what's going on internally? How is the breath? How are you regulating your mind, body, and breath in coming back to the posture? Slowly bring your left leg forward and remove the strap. This time, again, take a moment to pause. Maybe close the eyes, maybe a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. Tune in. Notice what you notice. Let's come on down to sit and we'll practice another outer hip opening posture that will actually get into the glutes as well as open the shoulders, and that's cow face pose. So I'm going to mirror you here. Extend your left leg forward and turn out your right thigh to cross over your left thigh as much as you can. If you find that your back wants to round, you might find it helpful to sit on an elevated prop, like a block or something. And or keep the bottom leg straight and that foot flexed. Otherwise, bend the bottom knee too and splay your feet apart. Make sure you're evenly grounding through both sitting bones. You may like a strap to hold in your left hand here as you raise your left arm, dangling the strap behind you. Rotate your left tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your head, pressing both shoulders down. Reach your right hand behind you underneath to catch hold of the other end of the strap, then walk your hands as close together as you can. Now, if your hands meet, you can drop the strap and clasp your hands. Hug your front bottom ribs towards your back so as not to overarch the lower back. Press your pelvis down and lift up from the base of your spine to your crown, breathing in. Notice the natural space between your chin and chest. Maintain it as you exhale to hinge from your hips, little by little, breath by breath, exploring the range of your forward folds in Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Two more breaths. Then press down with your hips and lead with your chest, inhaling to rise. Uncross your arms and legs. Then switch the left leg over the right, either keeping the bottom leg straight and the foot flexed or bending both knees. Root evenly through your sitting bones and maybe grab your strap in your right hand as you raise the right arm, dangle the strap behind you. Rotate your right tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your head. Press both of your shoulders down and hug your front ribs in. Reach your left hand underneath behind you, catch the other end of the strap, then walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe clasping them and letting go of the strap. As you breathe in, press down to your pelvis and lift up to your crown. As you breathe out, begin to hinge forward from your hips, not the neck. Little by little, deep breaths. 2 more breaths here in cow face pose. Press down through your pelvis, then inhale, slowly rise up. Let's straddle the legs apart. You might like to use the wide width of your mat if you're not already. Coming into a variation of Upavishta Konasana, a seated forward fold. So again, if you find that your back wants to round here, elevate your pelvis. Try to get the spine upright. Keep your knees pointing up, toes pointing up. May help to gently flex your feet. And with your hands, cup the top of your thighs and rotate your inner thighs back. Try to evenly root your sitting bones. Lift up through the front and back of your spine. Relax your shoulders and breathe in. Placing your hands on blocks or the floor in front of you. As you exhale, if available, begin to bow from your hips. Making sure to keep the spine as long as possible rather than rounding the back, tensing the neck. Let's listen to 5 more slow breaths here. When you're ready to come up, walk your hands towards you, firm in the belly, and inhale to slowly rise. Before we prepare for Shavasana, I invite you to another pranayama practice of alternate nostril breathing. So please sit in a comfortable way in which you can breathe easily, still be alert in your body so the spine is upright and at ease. Alternate nostril breathing in Sanskrit is called Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, and it is a way to calm your nervous system as well as balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain, and evokes the energy of your third eye center, which is Ajna Chakra, where your pineal gland sits, so awakening your inner wisdom, your connection to your intuition. So it's done resting the left hand on your lap, maybe in a mudra that you choose, like a grounding one is Gyan Mudra, thumb and first finger touching, palm face down. One that evokes elevated consciousness is Chin Mudra, same shape in the hand, palm face up. I often use Pran Mudra with this. It looks like a peace sign with a palm face up, and that cultivates vital life force energy. The right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, where you stick out your right thumb, pinky, and ring finger. We'll be using the thumb to close the right nostril, and the right pinky and ring to close the left nostril. When we alternate nostrils to breathe, just breathing through the nose. So make sure that your breath is not forceful. In fact, you don't even want to hear it very much. It's very subtle, gentle, slow, and easy. You might close your eyes and place your mind's eye at the area of your pineal gland, helping to focus. Let's practice 3 cycles of this breath work together and then 2 cycles on your own. Prepare by emptying this breath. Then hold it out. Right thumb, close right nostril, inhale left. Hold your breath. Close left nostril, exhale right. Hold your breath. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Close right. Exhale left. Hold the breath. That's 1 cycle. Next one, inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in. Close left. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6, Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. Take your time when you finish at your pace. Rest both hands in the mudra. Breathe naturally and notice how you're feeling. When you're ready, gently lower your body to a position of rest for Shavasana, a few minutes. continue to rest here longer with your eyes still closed. But as you keep your body still, begin to scan it mentally and observe the sensations you're experiencing. Sense the way your body is responding to your physical yoga practice. Tune into how your body wants to begin moving and be gentle as you start to wake it up. Easy movements, simple stretches, maybe keeping your eyes closed. Eventually, turn over onto your right side, resting your head. And there, bring your awareness to your breathing, natural breathing. Sensing what your energy is like now. Notice if anything has shifted here. Then take your time lifting your body up, finding a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. Sit in a way that you feel grounded, alert, and at ease. Place your hands in a mudra if you choose. And either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot ahead. Let's begin by resting your awareness on the sensations of your breath, letting the breath flow naturally. Anytime you notice your attention go astray from the breath, whether into a thought, following the thought into a story, or into a stimulus in your environment, a sound, or a sensation in your body, or a feeling, an emotion. Notice where your attention has gone. Allow a moment to recognize. Then gently re-guide your attention back to your body breathing. Do this as many times as it happens. Again, notice where your attention is gone and gently re-guide your awareness to your breath. As we continue to train, we evolve beyond the little me who continually seeks zones of comfort. We gradually discover that we are big enough to hold something that is neither lie nor truth, neither pure nor impure, neither bad nor good. But first, we have to appreciate the richness of the groundless state and hang in there. This juicy spot is a fruitful place to be. Resting here completely, steadfastly experiencing the clarity of the present moment, is called enlightenment. Tune into how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. And invite you to choose someone or something to offer gratitude for. Before renaming your intention for this practice. As you step into the rest of your week, how do you hold space for the paradox of life in everything? Hatha is a paradox in itself. It's the harmony of yin and yang. Remember to whom you invited or dedicated this practice to. And let's close chanting 3 ohms together. Inhale deeply. Bow in towards the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Invite you to join us, whether live or watch the recording this week. On Tuesday, our yin yoga class is going to end in a guided yoga nidra meditation for deep relaxation. And we'll also have another yoga nidra at the end of Friday's Flow and Restore at the guided 10-minute meditation. So tune in for some deep relaxation this week.